Hello, everybody. Welcome to Albion Obsessed, episode number 17. I'm gonna say, if I've got that wrong, you can all slap me. It's fine. We are here on New Year's Eve, no less. Taking time out of our celebrations to talk to you, lovely lot. If you are listening today, we do wish you a very happy New Year and hope you do enjoy your celebrations tonight. Don't go too crazy. But who am I to say? Tom, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I am down in Sussex. I am home and I am feeling great. I went to the club shop today, got myself this nice little number here. So I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Lovely. Tom has breathed in the Sussex air, and you can see what it's done to him.
Yeah.
He's loving life. Aaron, mate, you've
Certainly
got
is.
a lovely new microphone. You're sounding nice and crisp. How are
I
you,
do
mate?
indeed, yes. All good, mate. All good. Nice, easy day at work. Just got rushed back home and now just going to take it easy for us this evening, I think.
I have
Have
to
a couple
say,
of drinks and chill.
because you're wearing a white shirt, it looks like you're in black and white.
Oh, does it?
Which is yeah, it does. But
Ah,
your blue, your nice blue things there make
I
us
can, I
realise
can,
it.
I can, I can, I can.
Oh, don't you
Makes you
worry,
look
don't you
classy.
worry. It makes you look nice and yeah, as Tom says, classy. Um, we are on the back of a wonderful performance again in London. A 1-1 draw against Chelsea, which, by the way, can I just say, our very own Curtis predicted to happen. We tweeted out on Twitter, and yeah, made you guys aware that he is the new mystic on social media platforms. And we even have a little voice clip from our friend Curtis as well, which we are gonna play for you. He couldn't make it on the pod today. Hopefully, you guys can hear this. 2 seconds.
Don't forget to mention how I'm like a psychic and totally and accurately predicted the scoreline. And I will continue to do so for the rest of the season because, they call me Mystic Kurt. I predict these things. So, yeah.
So there, you heard it from Curtis first. If you want any
Very good.
predictions, any lottery numbers, go to him, and he will be more than happy to assist you there. Boys, how did you find the game? Obviously, there's been a lot of talk after it, with Chelsea's manager moaning about squad depth, etc. Tom, when you were watching it, did you feel like we could get something from the game? Obviously, it was a very strong performance.
I think previously, I mean, when we did our last pod, I predicted us winning, and I reckon we could have won that game. If I'm honest, I don't think it's too kind to say that we played Chelsea off the park. Um, they scored in the first half, quite a contentious goal. I personally thought the goal was fine, should have stood, a bit hargy-bargy, but nothing too major for me. But but I think after they scored, they didn't do anything, and we were the better side for the large parts of the game. I don't know what Thomas Tuchel was talking about with squad depth. He's got players on the bench that cost more than our entire squad. So I think he needs to reel his neck in a bit, if I'm honest. But the whole experience of watching that game was a mixture of utter joy to see us playing, European champions off the park, and then utter frustration at the punditry, which I'm sure we'll get onto a bit later, because the commentators took such glee in Mopé getting an elbow to the face. And at the end of the game, when obviously we equalised, they all seemed really flat. They all seemed really deflated that Chelsea had managed to win. So it was a bit of a mixture of emotions, utter fury at some of the commentary, incredibly biased in my opinion, but also utter joy at seeing us play so well and grabbing another last-minute equaliser in London.
Yeah, definitely. It infuriated me how much they were talking about Romelu Lukaku. I thought he was bang average at best. Um, Aaron, what did you make of that? You've been very vocal on the group chat about it.
I mean, bang average is still giving him too much credit. To be honest, he had one opportunity which he scored, but then, in my opinion, should have been a foul. You can't go swinging your arms in the box and not make. He's made contact not once but twice with Morpé's head. So for me, I get his arms around him. It's all like Tom said, a bit of argy-bargy. But as soon as you start throwing elbows left and right, if you make any contact, it should be a foul, without a shadow of doubt. Red card, bit harsh. But if you start flinging elbows about, it's gonna, in my opinion, it should be a foul. And
what annoyed
once
me
again,
about that is that I think you said it, Joe. One of the pundits said he should have gone down earlier, as if it's a foul, it's a foul. It doesn't matter if. So that again, that was the punditry more than anything that frustrated me. But sorry, go on.
Yeah, exactly.
But once again, the Messiah Dan Burn produces an absolute phenomenal performance again, and kept an £80 million striker, or wherever he was, in his back pocket. Which is absolute credit to Dan, because he's been fantastic the last sort of 2 months or so, and. I may all, obviously my man crush being Dan Burn. It's more of a joke side of things more than anything. But he's proven so many people wrong. It's great to see. Like the amount of stick he got last year. I remember Wolves at home where he got turned inside out by Traore, and I remember just sitting there thinking, I was like, he's got no clue what he's doing. He's so far out his depth. But when you play him centre half, he actually seems like an absolute natural. It's like, well, he's a centre half through trade at Fulham and Wigan.
Yeah.
Potter just obviously made him a centre left wing back for some unknown reason. But the performance itself, from back to front, was class. I mean, Sanchez looked a bit iffy to start with. There was a couple of crosses he came for and corners he sort of flapped at. Couldn't really do much about the goal. It was a good header. Shouldn't have stood, but it was a good header. Then obviously Lamptey does what Lamptey does very well. I thought he was more similar to the Brentford game. He was more defensively sound than going forward. He still got forward a lot. The centre half's superb. Cucurella, probably one of the best signings I think we've had in God knows how long. The midfield was absolutely superb, and obviously Welbeck coming on, doing what Danny Welbeck does, is sort of in the box, and it was a great header. Christ, a hell of a header. Because I had a little bit of a delay in the game, so I saw your message before the goal went in, and it only by sort of 10 seconds or so. So I was like, I looked at my watch and was like, and then looked back at the TV and just saw the cross going and Welbeck with the header. And it was a fantastic display. And credit to our fans as well, man. They were absolutely outstanding. And like Tom said, we played the European champions off the park. Tommy Tuchel, you boys took one hell of a battering in that second half. Dear,
quite literally. Yeah, you mentioned a few things there that I tweeted out about, such as obviously Cucurella being one of the signings of the season, and Joel Veltman as well. I just want to bring up, we tweeted probably the biggest bargain buy you could find, because alongside Dan Burn, absolutely class, and I feel like it is time for people to put a little bit more respect on Dan Burn's name, because he has performed fantastically well when called upon, and it's again another credit to Graham Potter's management for bringing, a few seasons ago, Dan Burn, probably a centre back that's of championship level, but now can easily slot in when Lewis Dunk, Adam Webster, Shane Duffy aren't playing. So it's great to see, and great to have that confidence that if they are out, that we can rely on Joel Veltman and Dan Burn, because, as you say, keeping £80 million completely quiet, and I know the pundits were bigging him up, but as you say, Aaron, maybe average at best is a little bit more of a compliment, because when he scored, I don't think he did anything else really, except for maybe hold the ball up a few times. But come on, now.
Even then, the ball was going up to him. It wasn't really sticking. Like Dan Burn was literally right behind him, winning the headers. Clark was getting more and more frustrated as the game went on.
Yeah.
And obviously, the last sort of 24 hours, he's been saying he's not happy at Chelsea, he's not happy with Tuchel, and that's all because Dan Burn's rattled him, and it's clear to see. I can't
And
wait to
it's
see
great.
Dan Burn pocket Ronaldo. It's gonna be great.
It is great to see. You mentioned obviously about that incident when he scored the goal. I'm a little bit on the fence about that because I feel like it's one of those that could go either way. The most infuriating thing is the pundits talking about it, saying, as you say, Tom, he should have gone down earlier. But then they're saying, but it's not a foul. So which one
one
are
or
you
the other.
picking?
Yeah.
Is it a foul? What? So yeah, Amazon was getting on my nerves a lot. Andy Townsend was the co-commentator, was he
Once
not?
I turned the commentary off,
You turned it
off
off.
after that. I was
We
done.
kept moaning about it on the group chat. It was just, yeah. It was so frustrating that it was funny. So that's why
Yeah.
I kept it on, because I wanted to hear what they were going to say next.
I was
about us.
I was really triggered by that. I don't think I've ever watched a game of football and the commentary be commentators be absolutely deluded by a Big 16. Like Christ, you see Neville and you see Carragher when they do Liverpool and United, they're never that bad. Andy Townsend was so far up Lukaku's arse, it was a joke.
How he
Like,
got man of the match, Lukaku.
He done absolutely he done nothing, and like it infuriates him. And you had Gus, which was obviously with Enioluku, who I won't go into. It was just so biased towards Chelsea. Even Poyet, when Poyet was the only one who really stuck up for us in a way. And you had, like you said, the who was the presenter? Looked like Mark. I can't remember his name. But he was doing the same thing as like, oh, Chelsea must be devastated, to concede in the last minute. Not Brighton deserved that. They battered them. It could have been a goal before then if Lallana could finish, or Morpé's shot went snuck in the far post. It's just give us some credit. Like Christ, we're not a bad team. We're a very, very good team, and people just expect us to get walked over. Like a couple of my group chats I'm in with some Liverpool fans, and they're like, "Oh, this is a disgrace. We've lost the league. We've lost that. We've lost that." It's like, look at you. You're moaning about not winning the league. You're 6 points behind City. It's like when we play you and you moan, "Oh, why do all the big clubs get the decisions? Why did this happen?" It's like, you're a Big Six club. You get all the decisions. And it's us clubs, the likes of us, even Palace to a certain degree. The mid-table teams. When we play the Big Six clubs, if we win, it's oh my god, what a shock! Oh my god, can you believe it? It's not like when we go up against these clubs, it's not wow, we're playing the European champions, but fuck it, go for it. Do you know what I mean? We got nothing to lose. Like I said on the pod, I was expecting us to lose. I said 2-0. We'll go away from Stamford Bridge and we'll focus on Sunday. Yeah. But that performance for me probably better than the Brentford game.
Yeah, definitely.
In my opinion,
because I thought the best we've played all season. If I'm honest,
we attacked so well. We defended so well. We pressed as a unit. Everything what I expect us to be as a football team, we done. Like we pressed, we defended. Like I said, we defended valiantly. Even when Hudson-Odoi was 1-on-1 with Veltman and he completely mucked up the due pass, and we just looked. Even then, I was never when he went through and goal. I was never like he's going to score this. I just felt like Veltman's got this. Like he's got this covered, just because they've done nothing the whole game. Hudson-Odoi is overrated, so I don't know why Chelsea fans think he's the next Messi. But they got Pulisic, which is some sort of soccer god in America, which is baffling. But overall, very good day, very good evening at the Bridge. Some of the player ratings which I've seen, I saw the Argus, weirdly enough, and the player ratings were awful.
It's really low. Yeah,
really
low.
They were like 6s and 7s. I was thinking, did this guy even watch the game?
Nah,
minimal was 8, and the max there would be 9. Like there's no way you can give players less than that.
all of our back line for me were a 9.
Yeah,
Kukurea, phenomenal. Lamptey, who is attracting interest from elsewhere yet again before a transfer window, which we'll get onto a little bit later. And as we've already mentioned, Veltman and Byrne. Tom, what are your views on Veltman and Byrne? Because a lot of Brighton fans obviously feel quite nervous when they're in the side, especially playing, I would say, in a back four. So there's not that extra defensive cover. How are you feeling ahead of the game? Obviously, shaping up against Lukaku.
Yeah. So I think the last 2 games, I've been a bit surprised to see us not set up in a back 3, but on both occasions it's worked. I think Joel Veltman's excellent. I think for me, if I was going to pick my perfect back line, he's in there with Duncan Webster personally. But I was a bit surprised because I do think that sometimes with the back 3, it means that we can use Kukurea and Lamptey as attacking options a bit more. But I was pleasantly surprised, obviously, to see us go for a back 4. And we played really good football, fantastic. As Dan Byrne, just to echo what Aaron said, he can be a bit inconsistent at times. He does occasionally make mistakes, but all players make mistakes. But the last 2 games, he's been absolutely solid, really solid. Him and Joel Veltman have done a really good job at Chelsea. I thought Byrne played really well alongside Webster at Brentford. So I'm really happy. I think one player that maybe I've noticed finds it a little bit, not difficult, but Sanchez. So when Sanchez has got the ball at his feet, I think sometimes when he's looking out, he's almost expecting to see a back 3 instead of a back 2, because obviously he's just got more options when you've got a back 3 of who he's going to pass it to. But generally speaking, I think the back 4's worked the last 2 games. It'll be interesting to see how Potter sets up against Everton, because I think we've got so much flexibility, and that's what I like about Potter and his style of play. There's so much flexibility. We can go from a back 4 to a back 3 really quickly without having to make any substitutions. So that's a credit to Potter and his tactical know-how. So that we can be a very free-flowing outfit at times.
Yeah, it was a top class managerial performance as well at Chelsea. To not be afraid. Like before the game, I saw somebody tweet about they would like to see a back 5 or however it is back 3 against them to sort of match them man for man. Because I know Chelsea play that system as well. I'm not too sure if they did play it against us.
They did.
They had James at left wing back and Pulisic on the right. But again, that didn't work, did it? Because
not quite.
Like James, he's a right footer playing on the left hand side, which I don't think works in that sort of system anyway. But obviously, James picked up an injury and he couldn't contain Tariq Lamptey at all.
Yeah, exactly. And then when Alonso came on, he looked absolutely atrocious. To be completely honest, as I say, when I saw we were a back 4, I was a little bit nervous because I thought Chelsea with their pace and as you said, Aaron, it is the European champions. They do have incredible quality and incredible talent in there, even with all of the injuries they have. Like Tuchel was moaning about. But yeah, we played our game. We weren't afraid to go at them. And obviously with Kukurea with the assist, I know we were pushing at the end for that equaliser. But it's nice to see Kukurea even still just like glide forward and have that freedom to put in those crosses, because his crosses are dangerous. That was an absolute peach of a cross to Danny Welbeck. And when you've got Danny Welbeck on the end of it, I tweeted about him after the game. I said, class is permanent. Because, this is a guy who's played for England, Manchester United, Arsenal, as, one of the most prolific England goal scorers in his time playing. He's got one of the best goal returns, is he not, in appearances for England, which is
for England,
absolutely mad. Absolutely mad to have him at our club. We spoke about it on the group chat as well. How crazy it is that little old Brighton, that all the pundits write off every single time. have ex-England internationals who can still do it. You know, if Danny Welbeck stays fit, he's a real option for us. And yeah, you just love to see it. So yeah, I just want to go on then to obviously the embarrassing ratings that we've seen over the last couple of days since the game. There was one that I think emerged this morning or maybe late last night. I don't know who it was from. It said Daily at the top, so
I think it's Daily Mirror. I believe it was. I did see something on Twitter.
They rated Lukaku 9. Obviously, we've already noted that he got Amazon's man of the match when there were 11 plus substitutes players better than him on the other side of the pitch. I think I saw a couple more 9s and maybe a few 8s for Chelsea, and I think the highest I saw for us was 7. And you know, when you look at the game, if anyone with a decent football brain watches that game, they will see that we, for maybe up until Chelsea scored, and then after that, so Chelsea scoring, and after that, we were 100% the best side throughout that.
Yeah.
Every single minute of that game. Obviously, Chelsea had a few breaks where, you know, Veltman did really well, Byrne did really well. The defense, the spirit in knowing that they're going to get back, not thinking they're going to get back, knowing.
And
they
it's
were
worth
100% going for it.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning as well that the reality is we should have been playing against 10 men because Rudiger should have gone. And once again, none of the pundits mentioned that. None of the pundits on Amazon mentioned at half time that Rudiger should have been gone. 2-footed lunge off the ground. Doesn't matter that he didn't injure Lamptey. If he had made contact, he could have broken his bloody leg. The fact that he wasn't shown a straight red is an absolute disgrace. And the only way I can see that he wasn't shown a straight red is because his badge said Chelsea. That's the only thing I can think of. And that sounds really petty, but that was outrageous. But again, I saw some of his ratings, Rudiger's ratings, and they were really high. And I think
serious.
I think
he was awful.
I think Rudiger had done okay, but like Tom said, the fact he was still on the pitch is just mind-boggling. Like, people was on a couple of my group chats. I mean, they're saying, "Oh no, you know, he won the ball." I don't care if he's won the ball. He's 2-footed off the floor, not in control. It's like, if you're telling me that's not a red card, then what is?
Like, seriously,
they often base it on the injury, don't they? Instead of like, because in rugby they kind of have this whole idea of mitigation. So if a player gets injured, it's a straight red. But then they look at the sort of the mitigating circumstances, and is there a way that it's not the tackler's fault? But there's no mitigation. Rudiger's, as you say, he's off the floor, 2-footed, reckless, endangerment. So the referee shouldn't wait for a potential injury to occur before dishing out the punishment. But for that was no mitigating circumstances. The fact that he missed Lamptey shouldn't come into it. He should have been gone.
I absolutely lost my head down. I was watching it with my dad, and I lost it. I was throwing my bottle about. I was livid. I was like, how can these top 6 teams get away with stuff like this? I was like,
you play football to a much higher level than I play it, right? So you must have a decent understanding of the laws of the game. I don't. I'm not a football encyclopedia, but I hope that you are. Is the definition not if you're putting your opponent in danger when you're going in for that tackle, that is a red card? Am I right in saying that?
So I think Tom said these words earlier. If you're endangering an opponent, reckless, or meaningful force, I believe the word is I'm looking for, which there was meaningful force, it's reckless, and you're putting the player's safety in danger. So for me, it's one of those things where VAR is there for that exact reason, to look for these mistakes that the refs miss.
Yeah.
The fact is, Mike Dean is Mike Dean. We know what he's like. It's all about him. Admittedly, he's been pretty good with us in the last 2 or 3 times we've had him. In all fairness, he made up for it on Wednesday, to be fair. But then Kevin Friend and VAR, he needs to say Mike, you know, you have a look, come and look at the screen, look at this. You know, that's what it's there for. And it's all the reason why I don't want to call people out on making mistakes, the VARs, is because they're all mates. They're all, I don't want to tell him he's made a mistake because, we're all in this together. So get an independent. So, like, look at when the VAR first came into place in the World Cup a couple of years back, or I think, World Cup, it was used so well. Like, it would VAR straight on it. Yeah, go and have a look at this. Straight to the screen, have a look. All right, red card, penalty, etc., etc. Here, we play on for a little while. Oh, hold on. Oh, what's that? Okay, I'll go over to the screen. Trots over to the screen. Oh, no, nothing wrong with that. Ignore the fact he's 2 feet off the floor and snapped the leg in half. No, we're fine. It's all good. I made the right decision. Yeah, okay, no worries, mate. That's fine. You do you. It's just pointless. What is the point of having VAR if you're not having those things checked? Like the fact, again, I'll go back to the goal. That's a foul. It needs to be looked at. I don't care if the commentators go or the pundits go, oh, it needs to go down for it to be, earlier. A foul is a foul. It's as simple as that. Like, I do not understand the officiating in this league. It's we used to have some of the best refs in the world refing in the Premier League. You can say what you want about Howard Webb and Mark Clattenburg, but they were good refs. They were decent refs. Admittedly, backhanded by Ferguson, always used to keep on United side, but they were good. And now we had refs going to World Cups and Euros and Champions League finals. Now we're laughed upon because the officiating is just that bad. It just baffles me. It generally baffles me.
It is embarrassing.
We were just lucky that we didn't get pinged for those penalty shouts, which I know a lot of Chelsea fans have been complaining about on Twitter, and Tuchel complained about after the game. 2 penalties not even looked at because there were penalties, meant there weren't fouls. But I think it was when Pulisic ran into Veltman. I thought we were going to get pinged then.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
I did.
Nothing wrong with it. I think once again, I think Gus he had our backs in the post-match analysis. He said, what is Veltman supposed to do? The ball isn't. Is it? I think he said something about like the ball was behind Pulisic and he's just fallen over.
That's it. Yeah.
So Chelsea fans moaning about we didn't get 2 penalties when they weren't even fouls, when they should have been down to 10 men. They don't get a right to complain about VAR and the referees when that, as I say, Rudiger should have gone.
Yeah, I saw another
Rudiger
one.
Should have gone.
I saw another one on Twitter. I didn't see it at the time, but I saw it on Twitter this morning, I think, where there was a handball.
The Veltman thing.
It looked like a handball, so I think
it was the angle because I'm pretty sure the person who tweeted that, someone responded to them with a different angle, and it's not. It's literally hit him in the. I think it's like hit his chest or something, but the angle that they showed it at looks like it's hitting his hand.
Right.
But again, you can't moan about. Oh, he's on it.
Fair enough. Sorry, Aaron. What did you say?
Hasn't it gone with the Vel? I saw the tweet you're on about, and I thought it hit Veltman's hand, but I think it's hit. He's blocked it, and then it's hit his arm. Like his arm was behind him. So it's like, if you give penalties for that, then Christ, you're going to be given a lot.
Yeah.
Like you'd be given 2 years ago when the handballs were, or was it last year? It might have been last year, but the handballs rule was different.
Yes.
Then that would have been given. But it's not, because he's not purposely gone, I'm going to get the ball, hit my leg, and I'm going to hook it behind me.
Yeah,
and it's fine. It's nothing like that. It's some of the, like I just literally said, the standard refereeing has got gradually worse. But in that time, he actually made a sensible decision. This makes a change.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Let's touch upon the goal because we haven't really spoken about it that much. We've said, obviously, what a class finish it was. But let's talk about the scenes after, because there was a really funny tweet that came out, which I didn't actually realise happened at the time, of Solly March giving it the big un to the Chelsea fans, which was wonderful to hear. I think Albion Raw tweeted something, it really tickled me, that said something like, Solly March has the face of somebody who always thinks he's left the iron on, but As I say, this isn't. Yeah, I'm going off memory here. But it is like or something like, oh, he's a genuinely nice footballer, and then they've put and then they've posted the picture,
Yeah.
which is brilliant, because Solly does look quite innocent, doesn't he? Can you?
Yeah.
Sorry, just to cut in. Can you guys hear that annoying buzzing sound when I speak?
That's
Or is it
interference. I can hear it.
Interference. Oh man.
Yeah, it sounds like when like phones happen and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't.
let
I
me
can't
turn.
hear anything.
Okay. Well,
I've
hopefully
turned-
the
my
recording
phone's
hasn't
not
picked
near
up.
me. So,
It's cool. It's probably. I think it's on my end. If you can hear that on Spotify or YouTube, we are sorry about that. I think it was my phone. But as I was saying, yeah, I thought that was a brilliant tweet. And yeah, you don't expect that from Solly, but he done one at Liverpool as well a few seasons ago. I think towards a
Yes.
friend in the stand. And he's also done it again at Chelsea to the people who wouldn't give the ball back, and that's come back to bite them in the arse. We scored directly from the throw on that resulted in, what was it not?
I think so. I think what we played it about a bit, and then it eventually came over to Kukurea, and then he's obviously whipped it in. But talking about like the scenes afterwards, my favourite part is watching Alexis McAllister bombing on in his coat, and he's trying to jump on Welbeck. That made me smile because he was loving it. He was absolutely loving it. Was Alexis.
And you just see the spirit of this team. You know how many goals in the 90th minute now? 5.
Five
is just-
this season, 4 in London.
The spirit of this team. If you can hear fireworks, there's fireworks going on right now, and it's really annoying.
It is New Year's Eve.
It is, so get on with it. But yeah, the spirit in this team is the best we've had. I would say probably since the promotion season. They just keep going right to the end. They fight for each other. They fight for themselves. And yeah, it's just exciting to watch this Brighton team because you never ever think that we're out of the game. Maybe against Man City, obviously, when we're losing 4-1. But even then, we excelled in the latter part of that game. I know obviously we're not going to come back and draw 4-4. But when we go on and get these equalizers, it just makes you believe and makes you want to keep watching and keep supporting them. Obviously, I support them right to the end, even if we're losing 8-0. I don't care. But yeah, it just makes it that bit more like we can do this, and it brings a lot more people on board as well. That this team won't go down without a fight, which I love. I
think these are games last year that we probably would have lost. I think I'm right in saying we're 10 points better off at this stage of the season than we were last year. And I think that again, it's all about and just the team working for each other, because we've seen so many games now where we've scored equalizers in the last few minutes. And these are games, as I say, we would have lost last season because there wouldn't have been that belief that we could come back. But we showed that in spades against Chelsea. I can't say it enough. We played them off the park. The fact that they had to bring on Conte to contain Basuma was a world-class player. As Aaron, you said in our group chat, Conte is the best at what he does, and they had to bring him on because Basuma was running the show.
100%.
And little old Brighton having to, make that change happen, it just makes me smile.
Yeah. It is great. And you see the reaction from the Chelsea YouTube channels as well. I think there's a guy called Rory who talks about Chelsea a lot. I don't know if you guys are aware of him. But he was saying, yeah, that's the one. He was saying something about us relying on Danny Welbeck and keeping him fit and not being able to score. And then, see what happens there. Danny Welbeck scores.
To be fair, he did tweet out that we absolutely battered him. Like he done a voice he on the tube. Yeah, he was saying that Brighton were excellent. He's like, maybe I don't give them enough credit that they're due, and which I don't think fans do. Like fans expect us to roll over and just let them get on with it and just score 3 or 4 past us. The only team who've really battered us is City, and they battered us in half hour. Like after the half hour, and they were 3-0 up. We looked okay. They got a last-minute goal on the counter-attack, but other than I thought City have been the only team that have battered us, in my personal opinion. Not even this year, just since we've been up in the Premier League. Like, we have not been humiliated by anyone other
maybe
than
in our
City.
first season.
Oh, yeah, probably
when
Chelsea.
Liverpool played us.
That
We
was
weren't
humiliating.
Tom.
Well, I'm
come
just
on.
here. I'm just here to
Come
bring
on.
everyone.
Oh,
But
no.
what I will say, but again, we're talking about but think how times have changed. How many years ago was that? 2 years ago? We lost to Bournemouth 5-0.
well, no more than that.
The score or the
2008.
time? Yeah, so but you know what I mean? It's like a few years ago we were getting absolutely torn apart by Bournemouth. Look how far we've come in that short space of time. You know,
I mean, we were down to 10 men as well.
This is true, but again, these are the games that under previous certain managers we would have just sat back, tried not to concede. But under Potter, as you tweeted, Joe, the best manager we've ever had at this club, under Potter's leadership, we're not scared of these big teams. We go at them, and I don't think the big six like it when teams do that. We've obviously spoken about how we as a team sometimes struggle against teams that sit back. But when we play against these big six teams, we always look decent because there's a lot of belief and there's a lot of, we can do this. Whereas in previous seasons, if we're up against Chelsea, we just sit back and hope that the score remains somewhat respectable.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and just going back to the guy who got sent off in that match against Bournemouth, Anthony Knockaert, I believe he was. I don't know if he was in the away end or in the Chelsea end, and the Brighton fans spotted him. But there was a lot of pictures. Yeah, there was a lot of pictures circulating with fans with Nocky, which is great to see that he's still keeping tabs on us. Obviously, at Fulham, so quite easily accessible to a Chelsea game, I would say. So yeah, great to see that. Obviously, he's still taking the time to.
I feel like he's done it before. Though.
I think he has. I think he's going to get Chelsea.
I feel like he's been up there before watching. Because it wouldn't have been I was up there because he was playing. So, yeah, interesting.
Maybe he supports Chelsea.
maybe.
But yeah, another great performance in London. Another 91st minute equaliser. There's a lot of opposition fans saying that we can't celebrate this and we're draw FC and stuff like that.
By opposition fans, you mean Palace fans? Palace fans?
What are you supposed to do?
I just don't want to say it, Aaron.
This idea that you can't celebrate when you score is ridiculous. What are you supposed to do? Just stand there. Just go.
I'm going to be keeping an eye out next time they equalise in the 91st minute.
But they did.
See what their fans do.
When we beat them, and obviously we equalised in the 90 whatever minute from Mopé, they obviously slated us and were like, blah, 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 blah. But then I think a week or two later, they did the exact same thing. So these fans that are berating us for celebrating we had the audacity to celebrate scoring a goal.
You've got to remember, guys. They are scum. So
this is
Aaron doesn't mince his words.
He certainly doesn't. I can't wait for the podcast after we played them. Obviously, depending on what way the results go. But it's going to be quite the funny one. So
if I'm not on it, you know why.
yeah, exactly that. That's the Chelsea game covered, guys. Unless you wanted to say anything else about anything else that happened that you saw.
No, Dan Burns
man of the match. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, man of the match is Tom. Thank you, Tom. Who did you pick as your man of the match just then?
Basuma. I think absolutely run the show.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I'd also pick Biss. Are we making it a clean sweep, Aaron?
We are making it a clean sweep. Yeah, we are indeed making it. It's probably the best performance from Biss since everything that's happened with him. It's going to be a big miss when he goes off to the African Cup of Nations because I think he misses the Palace and Leicester game. I believe
he does. Yeah, he goes after Everton. He'll miss the Palace game, which I think Zaha is also scheduled to miss.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Shame the crybaby's not there.
Exactly. I think Lewis Dunk is scheduled to be back for the Palace game, which for me, that screams 95th minute Lewis Dunk equaliser.
Winner.
95th
Oh,
minute,
winner. We'll take a winner. No, just for equaliser so we can celebrate. Obviously, I know obviously we'd celebrate a winner, but I mean we're not allowed to celebrate equalisers, guys. So there's that. Anyway, so guys, the results are in for the poll. By the way, I did put it in
You did?
the group chat just to gloat a little bit. Aaron's gonna get triggered again. I'm sorry, Aaron. But blue and white won. He's gone. He's gone. There he goes.
He's gone. You've made him rage quit.
Sorry, Aaron. I had to mention it just for the listeners. Is he going to come back? There he is.
Oh, he is.
Smile, Aaron. It's not that bad. You only lost by 10%. No, 12%.
And if it makes you feel better, Aaron, most of the people in North Stand chat voted for us.
I agree.
Would have won, so.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
North Stand chat's where it's at. It's fine.
Can we say this then? They make up for the additional 10%, right? Let's just... Do we just call it a draw?
No, you won.
No, you won.
No, you won.
No,
at the end of the day, I think you picked a very good team. I think you picked a very good team of current players that have got they've got the world at their feet. I think me and Aaron, we picked players that had already reached their prime and we knew how good they were. And maybe it's a bit fair for me to say that maybe some people have forgotten just how good Vicente was, how good Bridge was and Upson. But which is very easy to do, especially when you've got players like your boys pick Basuma, Kukurea, Lamptey, Dunk, Webster, who we see week in, week out, doing really well in the Premier League. So I totally get why you boys won. And I remember saying to you after the performance of Chelsea, I was like, Joe, Toby, you have it because Kukurea's performance was excellent. Lamptey was excellent. Basuma played everyone off the park, so I've got no qualms. At the end of the day, Brighton won either way. So
Indeed.
True.
So
True.
let's end it there. We'll virtually shake each other's hands.
Do you know what the worst thing? Do you know what the worst thing is about this? Is when I saw your team, I text Joe and went, they've got a really good team. I was like, they've got a really good team, and oh, sorry, Tom. Yeah, I was like, they got a really good team. I was like, really good team. I was like, we're in trouble here. I was like, oh dear.
Don't get me wrong. I know it's impossible. I would pay so much money to see that game. I really would. I know we'd obviously never see it because it's impossible. But can you just imagine what that would be like to watch? Prime Vicente up against
probably end up a 0-0 draw, guys. We just cancel each other out.
Yeah, someone on North Stand chats joked, "Would the ball ever pass the halfway line?"
Literally, it just boof boof boof. So yeah, it's all good stuff. We've got Everton coming up in a couple of days' time. One Aaron singled out as one we should be focusing on because they're not in the greatest of form at the moment. There's a few things going on at the club. A little bit of, I think, unsettled with Benitez. I think, just Tom, you said it. Benitez has Benitez'd the dressing room. Yeah. So what are we feeling for that one then, boys? Are we confident or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think if we play like we did against Chelsea, we'll walk away with 3 points. But as we've said so often on this show, it just depends on what Brighton side turn up. Because I think when Everton played at the Amex earlier in the year, they looked brilliant. They looked really good, and we looked bereft of ideas and energy. So it just depends. I'd like to think that we'll rock up and we'll put in another really good performance. We're really good on the road this season. I think we've lost the least amount of away games in this calendar year, I think. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I know that we've got a really low number of away losses this year. So we've got everything to go. We should go for it. We should just go for it. It'd be interesting to see what changes are made. But as I say, if we play like we did against Chelsea, we'll walk away with 3 points.
Definitely, and Leandro Trossard returning, hopefully, look to just be the one game, probably a rest, a little bit of I think Did Graham Potter say a tight calf or a tight hamstring? One
Hamstring.
of the two.
Hamstring.
Hamstring. So hopefully back for the Everton game. Aaron, are you confident? Are you feeling a win?
It's the hope that gets you, Joe. It's the hope that gets you. I swear I say this every week, but it's true. I should be really confident. I should be like, yeah, we're going to go out there, get 3 points. You know, we don't play well at Goodison Park. Maybe good time to change, you know, the history. And I think I'll happily take 1-0 win, 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt, 1-0. Don't matter when we score it, because I don't think we don't really look like Tom said when we played Everton at the Amex. My dad was like, "Oh, they're the best team we played." Like they look so good. Even now, he was like, "I don't understand how they're struggling because they were fantastic against us." And they've had a lot of injuries. Obviously, with Calvert-Lewin being out, then they've just left with Richarlison, who's very hit and miss, and then they've got Solomon Rondon, who is just a pointless striker. But watch him score.
Yeah, mate, you said it.
Yeah, and it's a difficult game. It really is. Doesn't matter what sort of form Everton are in because they're one of our bogey teams. We don't particularly play well against them, home or away. Hence why I'm going to go for a 1-0 win, if not a 0-0 draw. But I don't. If I'm honest, I don't think a draw I'd be pleased with this time around. No, to be honest, I feel like I said in the last pod, this game should be looked at as 3 points. Yeah, 3 points on the board, get another away win. Big tick. We've won at Goodison Park for the first time in God knows how long, and then we move on to West Brom in the cup where we can rotate, which we will rotate. We'll probably see Sherpen, we'll probably see Roberts, Richards, and co. Yeah, and which is a good thing in my opinion because it gives us a chance to see the youngsters and give our first team a break before the game against the old enemy on the Friday.
Indeed.
So yeah, for me, 1-0. Gonna go for Dan Burn with the goal. There it is. One can only dream. One can only dream.
We'll take that. Goodison Park isn't the happiest of hunting grounds for us. I don't think we've actually got a point there. Correct me if I'm wrong. We've lost every time. So yeah, maybe that plays a
lost
little bit
heavily as well.
Yeah, we lost 4-2 last year, didn't we? 4-2.
Yeah. Pickford had a howler. I remember that.
Won the goal. So yeah, maybe that's playing a bit on my mentality towards this game. But my head says probably a draw. But my heart is saying a nice, comfortable 2-0 win for us.
Yeah.
So let's follow my heart on this one. I'll say 2-0 Brighton. Let's be nice and positive. But if you want the correct score, go to Curtis_friend on Twitter. Give him a tweet and he'll give you the correct score. Put your bet on. And if it doesn't come in, then don't angle your tweets at me. Hopefully, as we say, a nice 3 points away at Goodison Park. Me and Tom have got tickets to West Brom, which is going to be mega fun. Making a 3.5 hour travel all the way up there. Just to see your face, Tom. How do you feel?
I know, right? I'm really excited. And I tweeted that for a lot of fans, because a lot of people just sort of rolled their eyes when they found out we were playing West Brom. But obviously, I live 20 minutes down the road. I live in the Black Country, so it's a 20-minute train journey for me. So what I will say is, at least you, Joe, you get to leave. After the game, you get to go. I'm going to go back on the train with all the Baggies fans.
That's true. Hopefully we win and you'll be standing there all nice and smug.
Well, that'd be nice. But I'm really looking forward to it, mate. I know it's a cup game. I know it's against West Brom, which I know isn't the most thrilling of fixtures. But for me, it'll be the first time I've gone to watch Brighton play football since pre-COVID. So I am absolutely stoked. I'm going to be so excited.
Well, there you go. We might even do a nice little match day vlog for you viewers, aren't there? So that'd be nice and cool. I'm just looking for a nice day out. I haven't been to an away game.
If you're looking for a nice day out, don't come to the Hawthorns.
I was going to say,
a nice footballing day out then.
There you go.
Let me rephrase that. I haven't been away since Liverpool when we lost 4-0. I know a lot of fans are going to say, "Oh, plastic, it doesn't go away." But yeah, I'm looking forward to another away day. It's been a while, and also looking forward to meeting you in person, Tom.
I know we
So
actually get
it's
to.
super
Yeah.
fun.
Really
Yeah,
have you ever been to the Hawthorns?
I haven't.
It's cold. Wrap
It
up.
is very cold. Very
It's
cold.
a very
It's like
cold ground.
hot.
Wrap up warm.
It's almost as bad. It's almost as bad as Stoke, where I swear that place is just a wind tunnel.
Yeah, it's one of the you'd like. I mean, obviously, all football's outside and whatnot, but there's something about the Hawthorns that is just so cold. So it's a January fixture. So bring your hat, bring your gloves, bring your scarf. That's my advice.
I'll pack them tomorrow. That's been a good episode, guys. Obviously, just the us three today. Toby and Curtis couldn't make the time that we were going to record.
Curtis does say hello, though. He does say hello. He
Good
just
man.
messaged me saying, "Say hello from me." So I shall
Hello, viewers from Curtis. So yeah, hopefully Toby and Curtis will return for the next one. It's going to be a great new year for Albion Obsessed and a great new year for Albion as well. So you two enjoy your New Year celebrations. I'll let you
Thank you,
be
mate,
free
and
now.
you.
You too, mate.
Well, I'll speak to you guys next year then. So yeah, take care, everyone.
Happy New Year,
and
everyone.
Happy New Year,
up
everyone.
the Albion, as
Up
always.
the Albion, indeed.
Indeed. So
Let's
take
go.
care.
roll.
We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Dan Burns a god.
That too.